So we have all 11 council members that are on. We have County Executive Budish. We have Michelle Pomerantz. We have Greg Huth, Mike Chambers, Walter P., Holly Woods, Jack Ryan, Gene Schmatzer, Janine Carter, Ashley Johnson, Jonathan Schick, Janelle Green, and Tiffany Burke on the line. I don't think I missed anyone there. But if I did, could you speak up for a second? Okay.
Hey, Trevor.
Bill Mason, yes.
This is Andy Moles. I'm joining the call as well. All right.
Oh, hey, Andy. Thank you.
Oh.
Andy Moles is on. Bill Mason, Lenore Lockett, and Ted Carter might be joining here if they're not already on. Okay, so as a reminder, if we can have everyone keep their phone on mute during the meeting, and then if you're going to speak, don't forget to unmute yourself. And I'll kick it over to Gene to start the meeting if there's no questions. Thanks.
Okay, this is Gene Schmatzer, and we all know who the participants are. So, Council President, we're now ready to proceed with the meeting.
Thank you, Clerk. This is Dan Brady, the Cuyahoga County Council remote regular meeting for Tuesday, April the 14th, 2020. Clerk, please call the roll.
Calling the roll. Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Tuma?
I'm here.
Mr. Gallagher?
Here.
Mr. Schron?
Here.
Ms. Conwell?
Present.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Stevens?
Present.
Ms. Simon?
Here.
Ms. Baker?
Here.
Council President Brady?
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to move, I need a second to approve the minutes for March the 16th, 2020 special meeting.
So moved, Jack Ryan.
All right, moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Aye.
Okay. All right, thank you. The minutes are approved. I have a few comments today.
Excuse me,
This is
Mr.
Dan.
Brady, before you go into
Yes.
that, Mr. Brady, may I please
Yes.
indicate public comment for today?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
That's okay. This is Jean, and Ms. Liu had submitted public comment, and that item was distributed to the council members prior to the meeting. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would just want to welcome everybody to the council meeting this afternoon. We last met in the council chambers on March the 16th in a special meeting. We cleared the decks of every item we could and canceled the March 24th meeting. It's been a difficult time for everybody. As you know, our primary election was canceled and has been reset as a mail-in only campaign with a deadline of April the 28th, 2 weeks from today. Our levy campaign continues. We have been coordinating that effort with our consultant. Due to staffing issues at the Board of Elections, we may not have final results until sometime in early May. As to when we may be able to return to business as before, I wish I knew. We will be looking to the governor for direction in this matter. In the meantime, we will do our best to perform our responsibilities during the shutdown. Next Tuesday, April the 21st, we will be conducting a committee of the whole as a substitute for our regular committee meetings. At that time, we will also have a discussion about the state of the county's finances. It is time for us to resume our oversight responsibilities. We all need to work closely together to do our job in spite of the limitations we are living with. Thank you. Is there a message from the county executive?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And it's good to hear from all of you, and I hope you and your families are all keeping healthy. We're in the midst of a health and economic crisis unlike anything I've ever seen. People are suffering, and the economy has fallen off a cliff. We're doing everything we can to protect our residents and employees, to slow the spread, and to put us in the best possible position to recover as we come out of this crisis. I'll just mention a few of the actions we've taken and are taking. At the very outset, we stood up the EOC to manage the crisis in a coordinated fashion with our many partners. With the help of the courts, prosecutors, sheriff, and others, we reduced the jail population in half and set up isolation and quarantine locations, screened every person before entering, and eliminated most in-person visits. For weeks, we've been searching for and obtaining PPE, the personal protective equipment. More than 1 million items we've been able to obtain and distributing them to first responders, jail personnel, and others. We must protect the people who are protecting us. We've reduced in half the number of people in the homeless shelters by incentivizing them to move in with family or friends and by providing hotel rooms. We've also worked with the advocates to place porta potties with wash stations in areas used by people who are homeless. We've halted sheriff sales and worked with the banks to seek a moratorium on foreclosure and evictions. We're supporting United Way's 211 service, helping people who are unemployed to get the information and services they need. We created a small business resource center to help guide small business owners through the SBA programs and other available resources. And we're starting up the Small Business Stabilization Fund to fill in the funding gaps to help our small businesses get through the next few months. We provided to students in the CMSD hotspots and Chromebooks with 2 months of free internet in partnership with AT&T so that they could continue to learn even if they didn't have internet access. We must keep doing everything we can to protect and support our residents. We've maintained county services through this crisis, but we're anticipating a devastating loss of sales tax and other revenue, which will clearly impact the way we do business and require very tough decisions. We've instituted a hiring freeze and are requiring 2-week furloughs for all employees, for all non-bargaining employees. We've asked department heads to submit proposed 15% cuts. It's our goal to continue our prudent financial management so we can get through this crisis while still ensuring the safety, health, and security of our residents. And I want to especially thank all of you for what you're doing during this challenging time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Executive, consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President Gallagher here. I move to suspend the rules.
Mr. President, Chantel Brown here. I second.
All right, moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
This is Jean, reading into the record, resolution number 2020-0079, amending the 2020-2021 biennial operating budget for 2020 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, for appropriation transfers, and for cash transfers.
This is Dale Miller, and I move to adopt. Jack Schron, move to second.
Mr. President, my colleagues, Dale Miller, and this resolution is the regular bi-monthly fiscal agenda of amendments to the 2020 to 2021 budget. Questions were directed to Budget and Management, and the answers were sent to all members of council. One major item is an additional appropriation from the general fund of $7,874,000 for the installation of the ERP project, bringing the total cost for the Phase 1 installation from $25 million to almost $33 million. All or almost all of the changes on ERP have been previously discussed in Finance and Budgeting Committee and or the Committee of the Whole through our regular oversight hearings. Of this total, $1,218,000 is for county staff expenses. $6,395,000 is for contractual expenses, and $261,000 is for hardware. Of the contractual expense, by far the largest amount is for Infor Public Sector, our installation contractor, and that is over $5 million. And then $559,000 is for main sale to augment county staff as needed by contract, and $259,000 is for other contracts. The fiscal agenda also includes an additional appropriation of $5 million, which is in addition to a prior appropriation of $1 million for COVID-19 emergency response. Funding initially comes from the general fund, but we expect 100% federal reimbursement for these expenses. The resolution also appropriates $3,637,000 in federal special CDBG funding under the COVID-19 Emergency Act CARES and $7,220,000 in regular annual CDBG funding. I recommend approval on first reading suspension.
Okay. Councilman, this is Dan Brady. I'd like to ask a question of Mike Chambers. Mr. Chambers?
Yeah, here.
Hi. In terms of the $5 million for the additional funds, do we have any specific plans for those $5 million as of yet?
Once again, right now committed on our emergency purchases, we have a total of $1.8 million, of which $928,000 is specific to the COVID, $1 million. The intentions, first off, is to move some of those appropriations and expenses from Public Works and IT had to use some into the COVID fund. So that'll be step number one. Step number two is we're expending money right now at our auto title locations, putting up partitions for customers, plexiglass. We're also going to be doing money down in our county treasurer as well as putting up glass there. So we have identified some projects, but we are leaving some money open for additional PP&E and as well as any other projects related to COVID. So we wanted to try and put a little reserve on the table for that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Are there any other questions by members of the council about this item?
Mr. President Gallagher?
Yes, Councilman Gallagher.
Thank you. I'll be voting against this only because the ERP's in there. When we do this further, I think that should be taken out and voted on separately. This was supposed to be up and running April 1st, with the promise to Mr. Ryan he would not have a job after April 1st if it wasn't running by April 1st. That's 13 days ago. My reading is next July they're going to be up. So not only did they miss it, they missed it by a mile. This is horrible. This is one of the worst things that Cuyahoga County has been dragged into, and I don't want to pat myself on the back or anybody else, but Mr. Schrein was there with me when we predicted exactly what was going to happen. So now we have lie upon lie, more and more money, and we're heading towards the 50 that I predicted that I cannot believe that we're going to. I don't believe it's 32. I believe it's higher. I'll be voting no, and in the future I would like this stripped out so we could vote on it individually. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Are there any other questions by any other members or comments?
Council President.
Hearing none, Clerk. I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is Trevor Meckler. Ted Carter joined the call too, in case anyone had any questions for him. He's on the line as well.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for Ted Carter at this time on this resolution? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, I'd like you to have a roll call vote on this item.
Calling the roll on resolution number 2020-0079. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Tuma? Mr. Tuma?
Unmute.
Mr. Tuma, have you unmuted your phone? All right, I'll come back to him. Mr. Gallagher?
No.
Mr. Schron,
Begrudgingly, yes.
Ms. Conwell,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
I, like with Mr. Schron and Mr. Gallagher, I'm begrudging on this, but I'm going to vote yes.
Ms. Simon,
Yes.
Ms. Baker,
Yes.
Council President Brady,
Yes.
and back to Mr. Tuma.
Yes, I fixed my mute button, yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tuma. Motion carries.
All right. Resolution is adopted. Clerk, would you please read the next resolution?
Resolution number 2020-0080, approving a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, representing approximately 18 deputy sergeants at the Sheriff's Department for the period January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2021, directing that funds necessary to implement the collective bargaining agreement be budgeted and appropriated.
This is Dale Miller, and I move to adopt.
Tony
This
Simon,
is Dan
second.
Brady, and I'll second it. Okay. Moved and seconded.
Council President, this is Trevor McAleer. As I mentioned yesterday, I sent out a memo from the Law Department, Greg Huth and Todd Ellsworth, detailing the CBA. It is for approximately 18 deputy sergeants within the Sheriff's Office. And I didn't receive any advanced questions, either through myself or Brendan Doyle. So I just wanted to make sure everyone saw the memo that was sent out to everyone regarding this CBA.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is Dan Brady, and we have the law director here. Is there any questions or discussion about this item that we would normally deal with in executive session? Hearing none, Clerk, I would also like to have a roll call vote on this item as well.
Calling the roll on resolution number 2020-0080. Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Tuma,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mr. Schron,
Yes.
Ms. Conwell,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Yes.
Ms. Simon,
Yes.
Ms. Baker,
Yes.
Council President Brady.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Resolution is adopted. Thank you. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2020-0081, authorizing an amendment to a revenue-generating agreement with City of Berea for maintenance and repair of storm sewers and sanitary sewers located in County Sewer District Number 8 for the period June 1, 2017 through March 31, 2020, to extend the time period to March 31, 2021, and for additional revenue in the amount not to exceed $1,600,000.
And we'll refer this to the Committee of the Whole.
Resolution number 2020-0082, amending resolution number 2019-0018, dated February 12, 2019, which declared that public convenience and welfare requires resurfacing Brainerd Road in the cities of Highland Heights and Lyndhurst by changing the termini from Cedar Road to Wilson Mills Road to Falkirk Road to Wilson Mills Road, making an award on requisition number 47967 to Perk Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $3,028,622.80 for resurfacing Brainerd Road from said termini in said municipalities, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $5 license tax funds in the amount of $302,862.28 to fund a portion of said contract.
And we'll also refer this to the committee of the whole for next week.
Resolution number 2020-0083, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1900-152 with AEP On-Site Partners, formerly known as Enerlogic Solar, for the purchase of electricity generated by rooftop solar systems installed at various county facilities in connection with the aggregated solar project for the period June 1, 2019 through May 31, 2029, to change the scope of services effective March 1, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $624,466.74.
And this will be referred to the committee of the whole as well.
Resolution number 2020-0084, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with the Cleveland Clinic Foundation in the amount not to exceed $900,000 for 6 Medicaid enrollment eligibility specialists for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2021.
And this will also be referred to the committee of the whole for next week. Consideration of an ordinance for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President Gallagher, move to suspend the rules.
Mr. President Brown, second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. The motion, the rules are suspended.
Ordinance number 2020-0008, amending uncodified ordinance number 2020-0007, dated March 16, 2020, which provided for paid emergency administrative leave for all county employees by deleting the requirement that the paid emergency administrative leave can only be used after the employee has exhausted his or her existing accrued sick leave.
Move to adopt.
Dale Miller, seconds.
Thank you. We have people here from the administration to discuss this. If there are questions, are there questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please also have the roll call vote on this item?
Calling the roll on ordinance number 2020-0008. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Tuma?
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Schron?
Yes.
Ms. Conwell?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Baker?
Yes.
Council President Brady?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Resolution is adopted. Is there any miscellaneous business or any comments, any general comments that any members would like to make at this time? All right. Well, hearing none, we'll be back at the same place next week at the same time for the committee of the whole. And hope everybody is doing well. And this meeting is adjourned.